Today we are going to be covering the 3 big mistakes I see buyers make when relocating to the Orlando market, and make sure you watch the entire video because you don't want to make any of these mistakes yourself. Hi, I'm Charlie Peterson. I work with the Peterson Group here at KW Heritage Realty. We operate out of the North Orlando market, and we would love to help you with your relocation needs or real estate needs within the Orlando market here. So reach out to us on the phone number on the screen or send us a quick email in the show notes or the description just below the video here. All right, so now let's get into the first mistake. The first mistake is going to be misunderstanding property taxes. And there's a few different areas that I want to cover here with property taxes, but one of the main points here is on the real estate listings on Zillow, Realtor.com, maybe even Trulia, wherever major portal you're using, the property taxes listed there may not be accurate. And the reason I say that is because here in the state of Florida, property taxes are specific to the home itself and the homeowner, the current homeowner. So when you see a property taxes there, it's very likely that when you take over a home ownership, especially if you're moving from out of state, your property taxes could jump up and possibly be a bit higher than what is listed there. That's the most common scenario. So mistake number 1 is thinking that the property taxes on the listing are going to be exactly what you are paying in property taxes. If you're relocating from out of the country here to the Florida market, and specifically here in the Orlando market, we have something called the homestead exemption tax break here. And essentially that gives you up to $50,000 off of the taxable value of the property. So if your taxable value is $150,000 on the property appraiser site, that homestead will bring it down to $100,000. There's some other details there that we're not going to get into for today, but just know that that homestead exemption gives you a tax break. And then for ongoing years afterwards, it caps the rate in which the property taxes can increase for your primary home. And so this, over the course of a period of time, can really sway the property taxes that you'll see listed on these online portals. And for you, it'll make sure your taxes stay low in the long term. All right, now the next part here with property taxes is going to be new construction. If you are buying new construction, like so many buyers are today, please be sure to know that the property taxes for the first year are going to be off of the dirt, most likely. Not the dirt plus the structure, but just the dirt. And so you may have a property tax bill of like $300 for the year. And then your loan servicer may think it's $300 every year, and they're not charging you what the taxes actually are after the structure is built. And so then the loan servicer will get a big bill for $5,000 as an example, and then they'll go to you, hey, you didn't escrow enough property taxes. And so now you end up having to double pay your property taxes for a year, and then your payment goes up. And a lot of people, this is a huge financial burden if you just thought your mortgage payment was going to be super cheap. So there's not enough people talking about this new construction property tax thing, and I don't want you to be in that situation yourself, because that's a huge stressful burden to then pay essentially 2 years worth of property taxes inside of 1 year. Let's jump into the second big mistake I see buyers make when moving from out of the area into the Orlando market, and that is not actually touring the areas that you're going to be moving to. It may sound simple, but we have a lot of buyers, especially with technology becoming very easy. We have a lot of buyers just really picking a home online, doing a virtual tour, maybe a virtual tour of the home, and not really going beyond it. Like where the groceries at, what kind of schools, what kind of activity trails, do you like the area? Do you want to be an hour from the beach or 30 minutes to the beach? And so we don't want you to make a mistake on choosing your home because it didn't actually come and tour the area. So the tip to fix this is if you just really cannot come here and you're adamant on buying a home sight unseen, then really use Google Maps. Just go Google Map the entire neighborhood, the areas around it, Google Map a route to the grocery store, the library, whatever you usually use, the nail salon, golf course, whatever it is. Google Map all the way there so you get a feel of what the community is like. So that it would fit your needs. Because I have a lot of people who I've met with on the resale side of it that say, oh, it's just, we thought the neighborhood was going to be different. We thought the community was a little bit different, and we really want more of this lifestyle, and this has more of this lifestyle. So anyways, be sure to take a tour, or really don't rush into buying a home when you first relocate here. Go ahead and rent a couple months, rent for a year, really get to know the area first and then go ahead and buy once you really know exactly where you want to be. Nothing wrong with renting for a year or two in that situation. Now, the third thing that I'm going to get into here, and I want to be careful, is I'm not a financial advisor, but I can feel the pain on the resale side of it when I meet with some homeowners who bought in a financial position that was a little bit strenuous. I've sat down with many people who are reselling their property, and they have just mortgaged themselves to the gills. They are way over mortgaged for what the property value is. And either that is 100% financing, 95% financing, and they're turning around and trying to sell within a year or 2 years, and they're just not quite above water yet, and they have to bring cash to the table in order to get the property closed. And we don't want you to be in that position. The other thing that I see here too is a reason why that they're selling is because their mortgage payments are just too much. And what they've done is they have end up buying the home and then dictating their lifestyle around the home's cost rather than dictating, letting their lifestyle choose the home. So if you've got a big lifestyle, you do a lot of activities, maybe you need to keep the home expense much lower rather than keep the home expense maxed out as much as you possibly can. And then maybe if you get to do some lifestyle outside of your home, then that's okay. But try to keep your payments, from what I've seen, to 36% debt to income. So like if you have a car or anything like that, this is included, but keep your payments to 36% or less after tax. This will allow you to have a big lifestyle outside of your home's expense, and it'll allow you to save for retirement in the future and be prepared, if you're diligent with your money, for when homeownership things come up, like a broken AC, a water heater, you need to repaint the house, something happens. There's unexpected costs that come up with homeownership that you need to be prepared for. And if you are absolutely maxed out 45, 50% plus debt to income ratio wise, you are going to be stressing about all these expenses that might pop up. So there are other people who will say absolutely no more than 25% of your debt to income ratio after tax, and then others will say that you shouldn't take a 15-year mortgage out, any more than a 15-year mortgage out. And so that's not as extreme. I've seen people who are still comfortable living and so forth, but there are people who advise 25% after tax, or 25% of your take-home pay, and then no more than 15 years on your mortgage. And that can be a bit difficult for many, but that allows you to be able to save and have a lot of excess expense outside of your housing payment. So if you can, that's a great rule of thumb. It doesn't hurt to always have a cheaper mortgage payment, and if you can keep that low, you can have more expenses, more savings, and more things to do like vacation and so forth. All right, I hope this was really helpful for you. If you're considering moving to the area, go ahead and reach out to me here on the phone number on the screen, or reach me at the email down below in the show notes, and I would love to help service your real estate needs here in the North Orlando market.